And welcome, everybody. It is another Friday night and the day before April Fool's Day. So that must make it March 31st. By the way, happy birthday, Jason, just in case you're watching. And it's my ex-stepson's 51st birthday, I think. I think that's right. Yeah. So, happy birthday, Jason. I've got some exciting, I had an exciting week. Got some new toys, new toys are always exciting. So how was your all's week? Everybody have a good week? I got a new boom arm. Right? I hate that they put the sticker right over the picture, but yeah, apparently I have a tendency to drum on the desk, and that was annoying some people, and so I got a low profile boom arm. If you're a gamer, this is actually for gamers. Apparently I have the best gaming setup around, and it just keeps getting better, right? I do have a small cough, so if I got a cough, I'll try to, But so let me see if I can show this to you. Move some of the stuff out of the way. I don't know if you can really see it because it's like black on black. So yeah, I don't know how well that shows up, but it's fully articulating. It'll go any way you want it to go, and the thing is, it's only like 19 inches, right? So it's very, very small, low profile, very discreet, right? Now, when I was looking at low profile boom arms, the one you probably are gonna, well, why didn't you get the Elgato, right? And the Elgato is a great boom arm, and it has a channel for the cord and, the whole 9 yards. But it has these magnetic, like, tracks. Well, okay. So you put the cable in a track, and then you put a magnetic cover over it. And if you move the mic at all, those things pop off. How annoying, right? So this doesn't have a track. I've got the cable routed underneath it. And it comes with these little Velcro ties. And so you just kind of tie it on there. And but for you gamers, you can put it on the edge of your desk, like in front of you. I have it off to the side, and I still have complete access to my keyboard. So I've kind of watched my son gaming, and he kind of slides his hand on the key, and he only uses like 4 or 5 keys. I'm not a gamer, so I don't really understand all that, but you have full access to your keyboard. And it puts your mic right where it needs to be. So I don't know. I'm just a huge fan. And this thing is like $40, and I think there's a coupon on top of that. So yeah, so it's a pretty good deal. But anyway, that's my super find of the week. I'll share with you another find I got. But first, let's see who's here. Randy's here. There he is. Hi, Sly. Hi, Randy. How you doing, buddy? And Lewis is here. Hi, Lewis. How are you, buddy? I missed you again Saturday. Yeah. I play cards, and we usually go till about 11 on Saturday, and then I have an hour drive home. So I do watch the replays, and I give you a thumbs up. And Jeff's here. Hey, you made it, buddy. Afternoon, Sly. How's your week been? It's been great. It has been a really good week. And it's afternoon for you. Okay, so that must put you're either a whole lot of hours ahead of me, or you're a few hours behind me. Not really sure. Is it Saturday afternoon for you? That would mean you're a whole lot of hours ahead of me. And there's my little Brett. Hey there. Thanks, Bretty. And Uncle G made it. Hey, Sly. Thank you, Uncle G. Glad everybody set their alarms this week. Randy says, turn up your volume. Okay. We had some issues with this, so I will attempt to turn it up. If it sounds horrible, I'm going to turn it back down. Is that better? You guys let me know. And Gary, how you doing, Gary? Love new toys. Happy Friday, Sly. Yes, I love new toys. I'm a big kid at heart, and one of our family, Dr. Charles Richard, has been doing filming parts of Disney World, and I absolutely love those because it makes you feel like you're right there. And yeah, I would love to live close to Disney World. I'd be there all the time. And Scott says, here we go. Yeah, please no broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Okay, I don't really care for either. I'm not much of a green eater. And Randy says, got the same arm from Best Buy. Yeah, it's really awesome. It's a... Oh, something just shut off. Oh. So I have 4 cameras set up. They're all on dummy batteries except the G7X Mark III, and you cannot put a dummy battery on that. So you have to plug it in through the USB-C, and apparently I knocked the plug out at some point and the battery just went dead. So that's okay. Don't need that camera anyway. But yes, so on Amazon, and I put a link in the description because if you search for Ulanzi, it does not come up. It's being sold by some weird name. But on the arm itself, it says Ulanzi, and on the packaging, it says Ulanzi. So, and I've had really good luck with Ulanzi products. So, that's one of the reasons I bought it. If it had been that off-brand, I probably would not have. Just because I'm not a huge fan of sending stuff back. I send enough stuff back as it is, so I'd rather not if I can keep from it. And Rob says, first time here, nice to see your face. Well, thank you, Rob. I'm glad you made it. I know Fridays are kind of hard for people, and especially with me doing it so late. But I did try earlier, and it just didn't feel right. I should be going on after Peter, not before him, right? So that's why it's 10:30. I always appreciate you, Sly. Thank you, Lewis. You're one of my heroes, buddy. I really I lost my border. I don't know if you noticed, but had a little bit of a panic attack at about 9 when Peter went on. I lost the intro and the border. And I have no idea why. I have no idea, but apparently I hit the wrong button or something. And so I didn't have time to get everything back in, but I will watch your video and be able to get it back in there. So thank you, Lewis. And Jeff says, yes, Saturday, and it's 1:35 here. Oh, okay. So, wow. That's like 12, 13, 14, 15 hours ahead of me. Wow. That's almost all the way around the world. And yes, people love to text me when I'm live. Jim, how you doing, buddy? Happy Friday, Sly and everyone. Autocorrect. Yeah, I get it. That happened to Norm several times. And Randy says better. Okay. Does it still need to go up a little bit more? I've got like 2 more dots. But I don't want to get to where it's sounding harsh. So all the levels look good. So if I need to turn it up a little bit more, I got 2 more dots. So Jeff says, Sly, not sure if it's my end, but the sound is a bit out of sync. You know, it comes and goes. And I'm not sure if it's YouTube, because I got a new audio interface, and it's having to go back to. That's why I said I really don't like returns, but I end up returning stuff. So I got this thing called the SSL2, and so I had to completely reconfigure the mic, And I had noticed that in some of the test videos, it looked like the audio was out of sync. And in some of them, it was perfectly synced. So I did try to go through and change the frame rate, and that just made it worse. So I just left it the way it was. But I think it's YouTube. I'm not 100% sure. And Jim says, happy Friday, Sly and everyone. Aren't you glad it's Friday? Don't you just kind of go, okay, I have a whole weekend, right? And hey, Motivated Minds, Carlos says, hey, Sly and everyone. Did you always have background music? Yes, I have always had background music. That was thanks to Mr. Hammer Junkie. Is it too loud tonight? I can turn it down. It was funny because at one point, Peter thought I was tapping my foot, and there's one song that has, I guess, more percussion in it than the rest. And so he was hearing the drums, but it was so low, he thought it was me tapping. So that was kind of funny. And Subcultured Outcast, I am so happy you're here. It says sound is now perfect. Well, good. Because like I said, I've been playing with it. And one of the issues was, so I have a set of speakers for the Mac. Okay. And they're good high quality speakers, but I have a sound bar on the PC. And so one of the things I noticed is when I played the video back on the Mac, I had a really loud hum that was not there on the PC. So I'm learning, okay? And I have learned a lot this week. I learned a lot last week. I didn't know so much, but it's all good. Ecamm Live, I set it to 5 to match the lip sync. So I did try, one of the guys I watched, he actually runs it through a mixer, then through the interface, then through the ATEM. And so he set his at 7, and 7 was way out of whack. And so I went back and I started at 1, and then I went to 2, and I made it all the way up to 4, and it seemed like it was getting worse. But like I said, it's not always there. So I can set this to 5 if you want me to, and tell me if it fixes it. That's not a hard thing. 5. Okay. So what do you think? Did it fix it, or did it make it worse? I'll leave it on 5 until you tell me. And Peter says, I made it, and I washed my hands too. Good job. Good job. Always good to wash your hands. So I'm sure Charles will be in here in a little bit. He got a new mic for his camera, and I just fell in love with it, right? Because it is so tiny. I have a lot of those shotgun mics, and they're small as far as this way. This thing is small as far as this way. Okay, look how tiny that is. I don't know if you can see that. There. I mean, this thing is it matches my cameras perfectly because it is just so, it's so little. But I will tell on myself, and I haven't had a chance to test it out, or I'd let you hear how it sounds. I'll be doing that probably tomorrow. But it came with this, okay? And here's the mic. So normally on a shotgun mic, you put the windscreen on the front, right? This thing is huge, and I could not figure out, because the hole is like down here, okay? So I'm trying to put this thing on the front, and I am just not being able to figure out why would they send such a big furry thing, right? It goes over the whole mic, right? Who knew? I'm sure it's probably in the direction somewhere, but yeah, I don't really read those too much. So like I said, I'm going to test this out tomorrow. It was super, super, like 60-mile-an-hour winds here today. So probably not the best day to test out a shotgun mic. But one thing I like about it, though, is this little connector actually screws into the front of it, right? So I don't know about you guys, but I'm notoriously bad, just like the camera coming unplugged. I'm notoriously bad for pulling plugs out. I don't mean to, but it just happens. And so I'm very grateful that this screws on and you cannot pull it out. Now, you can still pull this out of the camera. Can't help that. But this thing is so tiny that I'm excited to try it out. And they were $99 and now they're down to $73. So I just couldn't pass it up. I had to get one. But yeah, the interface is going to have to go back, and I will go back to the Tascam until I figure out what I want to get. Yeah. Props to your latest video, Sly. Well, thank you, Carlos. That was a video that I made about 3 weeks ago, and I just never got around to editing it. So Randy says it made it worse. That's kind of what I thought. So there we go. So that's back at 0. Okay, I say worse, Mike delay at 5. Yeah. So that's, I actually went and I made like these little test clips, and I made like delay 1, delay 2, delay 3. And it just seemed like the more I got, the worse it got. But 1 didn't seem to help either. So, and then sometimes it's not there at all. So I don't know if it's Ecamm or YouTube or the ATEM or what it is, but Gary says, yeah, the sync is worse. Yeah. Okay. So I turned it back to 0 and we'll see. Change it to 4. Okay. We can do that. Okay. Okay, so that's at 4. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference, but and Gary says, "Ooh, Sennheiser, yes." It's not so much that it's a Sennheiser; it's just the little bitty form factor of this thing. Because as y'all know, I like small, right? And it doesn't weigh anything, and I think it'll just. Now, my cameras have flip up screens, which I love. Okay, I'm a huge convert. I used to be a flip out screen girl, and now I'm totally a flip up screen. But I've got a small rig thing that sits on the bottom of it, and so the mic will just sit actually like that. With this being the front, it'll just sit on the camera on the side. So I can't wait to try it out. But it was just way too windy today. There's Jacob. Great looking out, Sly. Would have never guessed. Thank you, Jacob. Thanks for coming in, buddy. How y'all doing? I haven't talked to you in quite a while. Peter says, is the Mustang video ready? Okay, you're evil. I'm just saying. Okay? It'll get there. It'll get there. And there is, I think, chat police. I think that's Kyle. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. How you doing, bud? Glad you came in. I hope I'm not interrupting your all's gaming night. And Jeff says it's fine now, Sly. Okay. Oh. So, Jeff, you like it back at 0? Because Randy's saying change it back to 0. And Peter's saying 0 is better. Sorry. Okay. So we will change that back to 0. Because I really do want you guys, even Jeff, who is like half a world away, to feel like you're right here with me, right? And so it's like a bad Japanese movie if I talk and then my lips move. Or my lips move and then you get sound. That's kind of dating myself, sorry. Can it go to 1? It can. We can try 1. Okay. There's a 1 for you. And Jeff says, yes. Kyle says, never. We're losing so much. So good. You needed a break from the game. Regroup. Right? Yeah. G told me last Friday you guys got immersed in your game. So that's cute. And there's Big D. Dropped a like. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you came in. I appreciate that. Oh, Lord have mercy. So I have a friend who is on a tablet, and bless her heart, she cannot figure out how to chat. But she does watch, and so she does do the thumbs up thing and all that good stuff. She just can't figure out how to chat. So Pat says hey to everybody. And Uncle G says we all love to take a pause in between matches and pop in to say hi. Well, I sure appreciate it, guys. I really do. Those are my boys. And they usually play games on Friday night. So thank you guys for taking a pause and jumping in to say hi. And Gary says negative on the 1. Well, you can't go to negative, Randy. It's, yeah, 0's as low as you can go. So I think we'll just keep it at 0 for a little bit. It goes from 1 to, I believe, 8. And I like I said, I tried 7 and it was way, way bad. So there's Wade. How you doing, bud? We never losing again. So I don't understand how many of you are there on one team. Honestly, I really don't know what they play. So I just know they play. And Peter says, hi, Pat. See, you're here with us, even if you can't chat. You're still here with us. And Rob says, okay, all this microphone tuning, fill in the newbie. What's the channel all about? What makes you tick? What's your passion? So, Rob, I am something of a nerd, right? I love cameras. I love microphones. Who doesn't? Lighting. And one of the things that I found when I was trying to research microphones, there are not a lot of women doing this. Right? And a guy's voice, your all's voice is so much lower. So trying to find the settings by any of the women, they're non-existent out there. You know, you might have a woman say, oh, here's a Sennheiser mic. I really like it. Well, okay, how do you make it sound good? Right? So I started with the pod mic, which I don't think it's handy. And I could not get any sound out of it. And, okay, Rob, so I'm going to fill you in on the journey. So I had a Tascam Mixcast 4. Okay, this thing is like huge. It takes up so much real estate on your desk, it's not funny. And it has so many bells and whistles that I will never use. I don't even know what 90% of them were for. And so there was an issue with Guitar Center, and it ended up, everything worked out great, but I sent it back. Okay. So then I found a Tascam Mini Studio on Facebook, $50. Okay. Well, I'll get that just until I can figure out what it is I really need. Okay. And that'll get the show up and running. And so I'll use that. Well, so I did like a week's worth of research, and I found this SSL2, and it met all my criteria, but they advertised it wrong, and so now it has to go back. So yeah, so next week we'll be back on the Tascam, but every time you change interfaces, you have to reset up the microphone, and the pod mic, I never could get enough oomph out of it. And I tried like a Fed head, and so it's been a journey, right? Well, then I found this AT2040, and it was on sale. And you know, are you catching on that I like sales? Okay. And so I got it, and it immediately it sounded good, like right out of the box, right? I just had to fine tune a few things. And so I got all the settings done with the Tascam, the little one, okay? And did the show last week. Everything was fine. And then I got the SSL and I had to reconfigure it for that, okay? So that was a little interesting. Yeah. But so I'm on a journey, and I think I'm going to be kind of like Amelia Earhart, where I'm going to be the pioneer into all this gadgetry, right? Peter has helped me a great deal. Lewis makes videos, and I go back and I watch it, and I pause, and I do what he says, and then I watch a little bit more, and I pause, and I do what he says, or I have to go back, you know. So thank goodness for replays, right? So yes, that's kind of what we're about. That, and I just like you guys, right? And there's Nikki. Hi, Nikki. How you doing, buddy? I think from what you guys are seeing is a hand waving, but it actually spells it out, which is so weird. It's like, okay. And Rob says, welcome to the nerd family. I think we all are, right? You know, if it clicks or pops or is shiny, I'm there. So I do want to test out a few different microphones. I think this one sounds really good, but I do want to test out a few different ones because I think the different brands all sound different. So like the pod mic, for instance, sounds really, really good on a man's voice. Does not sound so good on a woman's voice. Okay. I did get it to work with the SSL2, but I don't know. It just doesn't, it just kind of falls off on the top end or something. And I don't have enough bass in my voice to really make that microphone shine. So it probably will get handed down to, oh, gee, I don't know who. Uncle G? I'm going to make him a techie yet. 21 watches. She sizzles. And Jeff says, I might say night to you all on the other side of the world off to the Speedway. Oh, that's fun. My son has a 2004 Mustang he wants to take to the Speedway here next month. I think it's next month. In May, maybe. So I understand guys and speed. I get that. And Kyle says, drive fast, Jeff. Right? I don't know if Jeff is, are you driving or are you spectating? And Peter says, go fast, Jeff. That's happy they help. Yes, your videos are, they are worth so much. Because I put them up on the PC and then I'll pause and then I'll come over to the Mac and do something and then I'll go back and hit play again. And so, yeah, I'm surprised I haven't worn them out. And Gary says, quality preamps in the interfaces are make or break. Some of the new mics have preamps in the mics. Well, I'm just starting this journey. So I do have a preamp coming. Just because even though the Audio Technica doesn't take as much power as the pod mic, I've still got this thing cranked up to 8. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room. So, and like Randy said, my volume was still a little bit low. So, you know, I don't think when I watch the videos that I'm getting a true representation of what you guys are seeing, right? And Peter did make a good point. It depends. Are you watching it on a phone? Are you watching it on a tablet? Are you watching it on a big computer? Now I've got 32-inch monitors over here and 27s here. And so it's going to look a whole lot different than if I'm watching it on my little iPhone, right? Probably sound a lot different too. But I did pick up on the lip sync thing. I just don't know how to fix that. Because there is no negative, right? And just Jeff says, thanks, Peter. Looking forward to the night. Yeah, that sounds like a blast, right? We are going to be installing a short throw shifter in the Mustang. and we will video that. And I'm laughing because Grant installed a radiator, water pump, and all the hoses, new hoses, on his Mustang. And lo and behold, we didn't have the mic. We were mic'd up, but we didn't get any sound. So we got sound out of one camera. And so that's what Peter is asking about the Mustang video. I'm going to try and splice it together with that sound. And then my son's going to have to do kind of a voiceover if we're missing anything. So that's going to be a project, let me tell you. There's Lewis. Hey, buddy. Says, Sly, how you doing? I hope you had fun today. I'm just saying hi. I know it's kind of late for you, bud. And I'm sorry about that. But I hugely enjoy seeing you. You kind of make my night, bud. So I am going to be kind of doing some... so a lot of people check out like the Rode products and the Shure products, and I think they're great, but not everybody can afford a $400 microphone, right? So I do want to check out some of the not quite as expensive gear and see if you can live stream and get rolling for a whole lot less money. So we'll see. There is a gnat. So, you know, it's kind of I don't want to bring it to you guys until I've tested it and make sure that it's worthwhile to show you, right? So the Audio-Technica AT2040, I think is a really good mic. A lot of people have done testing on it, and like from the side and from the back and all this stuff, and it seems to work pretty well, and it seems to work pretty well with the female voice. So there's Suey. Hi, Sly. Thank you so much for remembering. I forgot to text you. And Peter says, I do, Lewis, it. I do, Lewis, it. I do. Oh, I missed some of these, didn't I? I am so sorry. Gary says, Tom Buck can probably help with sync issues. He is very experienced with ATM mic and software challenges. Yes, Tom has been on the journey. He's like 2 years ahead of me, right? But he has more of an audio background than I do. And so, yeah, I will figure it out, but I wasn't too concerned because I'm only doing the one show with the SSL and then it's going back. So I may get another one. I may go to something different. I don't know. It just, we'll see what's on sale, right? So I do think the SSL is a good interface. I just, the company I bought it from is not being very nice. So they had some false advertisement and that kind of thing. So, and Peter says, Grant is a star. That's funny. And Lewis says, Sly, I will always support you. Do you have a comfort food? Yes, my fried potatoes and onions. In fact, I'm going to make some of those tonight. And Peter says, I do, Lewis, it. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm not reading that right. And Lewis says, Peter, I love you. Oh, it is ice cream. Now, don't start him, Peter. He'll have 3 bowls before he goes to bed, and then he'll have nightmares. Lewis says, keto ice cream? Don't you know it? You know Peter makes his own ice cream. Oh, Carlos says, dark chocolate peanut butter pie. That sounds delicious. Honestly. Whipped cream on top? Yeah. Yeah, I could go some of that. I actually made lemon pudding. I've gotten kind of on a pudding kick lately. And so I kind of went to the store and I just kind of bought, I don't think I'd like pistachio and I wouldn't like tapioca. And so I bought everything else that they had. And they had banana vanilla, chocolate, lemon. And so anyway, I was down to the last box and it happened to be lemon. And so I made that, and you know, it's actually pretty good. A little whipped cream on top with a cherry. It's not bad. And Lewis says, Sly, I appreciate you not going for the latest and greatest, but for the value and convenience. Yeah, I think, you know, especially now, I think everybody's kind of watching their pennies, and I don't think you have to spend a fortune to do this, right? Now, I personally have quite a bit of money tied up in it because I go overboard, okay? And I'll be the first to admit it. You know, I don't know too many people that own 4 cameras, okay, Peter, but most people have 1 camera, and that's fine. Some people don't have any. They have a cell phone, and that's fine. So that mic that I found for the iPhone, that worked great. I don't think you have to have all of this stuff to go live. I think you can go live on your cell phone. I don't know how to do it, but I think you can. So yeah, you definitely do not have to have all the toys. I'm just kind of a toy-holic, so you know. Peter says, no, Lewis, I want the fattening stuff. Haha, chocolate, peanut butter like Carlos, right? Dark chocolate peanut butter pie sounds amazing, especially with a scoop of ice cream on top. You guys are making me hungry. Lewis says, I've been trying different foods, Indian food, Vietnamese food, etc., but I love spaghetti. We were just talking about making spaghetti. The one and only time I've set my kitchen on fire, I was trying to make spaghetti. But that's another story. Carlos says, that's your next video title, Sly. From the latest and greatest to the most value and convenience. Right? If you notice, I kind of go off the beaten path, right? I kind of go for what I personally like, what works for me. And, you know, you guys your hands are bigger, you can carry more weight comfortably. And so I'm kind of an anomaly. I like small things like my cameras. I did get a gimbal, okay, because somebody said I was not steady enough when I'm walking, and they're probably right. You know, how many people try to think about walking really steady? So I did try in the last video, but believe it or not, having 2 cameras on that bar, I don't even know where that bar is, but man, I thought my cameras were pretty light until I tried to hold up 2 of them. And I think I was using the Deity wireless. But that one lens was big, and they weigh about the same. So even though the 11-22 is so much shorter and smaller, it's got some heft to it. And so yeah, that walk around the duck pond was like, oh, I can do it. I can do it. Peter was telling me a trick that you can put your other arm to brace that arm up, right? I should have known that before I went to the duck pond. So Lewis says, ooh, that sounds like a great plan. Yes, from the latest and greatest to the most valued and convenience. Lewis says, Sly, please start a new channel, the Cooking Sly channel. Lewis, you do not want to see me in a kitchen, okay? 9 times out of 10, when I peel potatoes with a potato peeler, okay, this should be a simple thing. I take off the end of my finger or fingernail or something, right? They've banned me from using knives in the kitchen because that was, you know, pretty much an instant trip to the hospital. So we just don't do that. My daughter is a fantastic cook. And so, yeah, when I can talk her into making something for me, and I tell you, Uncle G is becoming quite a good chef too. So I don't have to cook. I can just be around people that do, right? Lewis says, I got a smartphone gimbal, but I barely use it anymore. Really? Why? Well, number one, you're not doing videos, young man. I want to see some Lewis videos, okay? I hugely enjoyed, especially seeing the ones with your mom and your sister. But I like the birds when you were shooting the birds out your window. I kind of like those too. So just start making videos, bud. Peter says, I like small things. Oh, then she buys a 40-foot Tascam. I did not realize that it was as big as it is. Okay. It's not that big in the picture. Okay. And I thought it was probably, I really did. I thought it was probably about like this. Okay. And I thought it would fit just real nice on my desk. This thing came in and it was huge. Right. So, pictures are deceiving. Right. And Lewis is laughing, probably at me. There's Dr. Charles. Hi, Sly. Sorry I'm late. Took a cat nap. That's okay, bud. You look like you are up at all hours of the day and night, right? And I hugely want to thank you for the Disney videos. I have enjoyed those so much, and it just makes you feel like you're there. You're on the steamboat, or you're on Tom Sawyer's Island, or just I don't know. If I lived near Orlando, I would probably be a Disney World junkie, because those look so much fun. I used the DJI Osmo 3. Okay, so is it a post-November version or a pre-November version? Okay, I looked at the Osmo 3s. I have 2 of the original Osmo Actions, and so the Osmo 3 looks like the original, but they don't take the same battery. And that was a killer for me, because I already have, I have a different battery for the M6. I have a different battery for the G7X. I have a different battery for the Sony. So I didn't want to get into another battery ecosystem. The pre-November Osmo 3s, I heard, had some focusing issues. But if it's manufactured after November of 2022, I heard they fixed it. So I hope you have an after, because what you've been shooting with looks really good. I'm surprised you're not shooting with the Fuji. And Lewis says, hi, Charles. Lewis says, I'd love to make more videos, Sly, but I'm still grieving. Well, making videos may help you through that process. So, you never can tell. You never know what's going to be the thing that pushes you away from it, gets you out of your grieving. And Peter says, I guess all the guys are back into a video game. They probably are. Yeah, they came in to say hi. That's all I ask, right? And Dr. Charles saying hi to Lewis. Lewis says, ooh, Osmo 3 or Osmo Mobile 3 gimbal? I did not know there was such a thing. Okay. The only Osmo 3 I know about is the Osmo Action 3, which the 2 was a huge flop because nobody really liked that form factor of the little squares, putting them together. So they went back to the original form factor, but they did some upgrades. I believe it shoots in a higher resolution now. But they had some focusing issues with when it first came out. So that a buddy of mine does reviews on action cameras primarily. He does some other stuff, but primarily action cameras. And he's the one that was saying, if you get a pre-November, they have the focus issues. If you get a post-November, they ironed everything out. So. And Lewis says, I don't know how, but you're right. Got to start, right? And you did so well. You look so happy in those videos. So you were singing and dancing, and you just looked really, I want to see more of that. Carla said, was sad to return the RF 28-70 f2 I rented for a shoot I did this weekend. Oh, okay. Did you put it online? So, speaking of, Carlos, and I may be the only female viewer you have, but the name of your, maybe it's your Instagram thing? I don't know. One of your thing is like for men only. What is up with that? Don't you think women are crazy too? So I enjoy listening to you, Carlos, and you're spot on with so many things, and you make me go, he's right. I do need to improve. Dr. Charles says, I do shoot with the Fujifilm camera as well as my Samsung Galaxy Note Ultra 20 with the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 gimbal. Okay. I have not seen the Mobile 3 gimbal. I can't even pronounce the one I have. It starts with an F. It's like Feiyu or something like that. But it fits my M6s perfectly. And they balance it is so easy to balance them. And that was one of the reasons I went with that particular gimbal, was after watching the reviews and stuff, it is so easy. It's a 3-axis, but it is so easy to just slide the locks and then to unlock, and it just balances super quick. So, and Lewis says, how was the weight on that? How was the weight on that? Are you talking to Charles? I am not familiar with the gimbal, the Osmo 3 mobile gimbal. So, and Peter says, wow, the F2, how do you like that? Which R camera do you have? I'm trying to remember, but I'm drawing a blank. R7 maybe? And so you rented a 28-70 f2. That's pretty cool. So I think the next lens I'm going to be buying is probably going to be the 32, just because, I have the 11-22, I have the 22, I have the 15-45, so I need to get more in the long range and start using the cameras as cameras instead of video cameras, right? I've got a grandson who is growing leaps and bounds before my eyes, and I would actually like some pictures of him. So the 32 is, I think, the equivalent of like a 51. So it'd be like a 50 millimeter basically. And I want to say it's 1.4. Not 100% sure on that, but I have found one that I will probably pick up for, I think they want $300 for it, which is a little cheaper than what Canon is selling their refurbished ones for. So, I don't know. It's an evolving thing. It's an expensive hobby. It can be, and it's constantly evolving. So, it's kind of like a growing, so I don't know, but, I do have another microphone coming. I will go back to the Tascam, but one of the issues with the Tascam is you can only hook up one mic to it. So you cannot do a mic comparison, which is a little disheartening, but, I like to compare things, but so, I did look at the, United Audio, Carlos, and, that was like my second runner up. So, and then I looked at the, I can't even think of what it was called. Part of my criteria is I want my microphones to plug in from the back, and most of the interfaces like the Focusrite and the United Audio, they plug into the front. So the way my desk is set up, the cables come up the back, and they would have to come up the back and over and around. So, yeah, I'd really like to have something that plugs in from the back, but we'll see. May not be possible. The f2 lens sounds heavy. Well, I don't know that it is. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think the 28 to 70, it's not like a ginormous lens. I think it's pretty normal size. And if he has the R7, that's a little bit bigger camera than the M6s. So it probably isn't. It probably didn't look that out of place. Charles says, I think people underrate f2.0. My lens on my camera is the 23 f2.0, and all my really low light videos inside Disney were shot with it. Yeah, it's either the 22 or the 24 is a 2.0. I don't remember which one, but and it does really, really well in low light, and I need to take it out on a really sunny day, because I did notice the 11 to 22 had some flaring going on. So that, or just put a lens hood on it, right? I mean, that would be the easiest solution. Lewis says, I would love to get a lens with that amount of Bocalicious, right? Bocalicious. I have a 35 millimeter 1.4. 1.4? Yeah, I think. And the bokeh on it is amazing. It is the sharpest lens in my arsenal, but it is a manual focus. So you kind of have to, you can't, manual focus is not the best to take pictures of a toddler. They move too fast and too much. Yeah. Carlos says, was beautiful at Peter Gray. Super fast, but yes, it's a beast for sure. Like Dr. Charles Richards said, it was really great later in the evening. Yeah, those, you know, I like the 1.2s, I like the 1.4s, but for the most part, they're so expensive. And if you can go up to a 2, you're almost there, right? And low light is kind of a thing, because, you know, a lot of times you want to take pictures and you're indoors eating dinner, or, you know. So Gary says, testing a Rode NT1 5th gen for work. Nice mic in a sound treated room. Having both USB and XLR connections is very flexible. Yeah, I tend to shy away from the ones, I mean, I have XLR, so I've never tried one with the USB. I believe most of them are they USB-C and XLR? But I've got one coming that is supposed to be really good for a female's voice, and it was dirt cheap. So we'll see. If it sounds good, you guys will hear about it. If it does not sound good, you won't hear about it, right? And there's Subcultured. Good to see you, bud. I have an R7 and love it. It's not a tank like the 80D. It's more of a sports car of cameras. But see, I think you're a little bigger than I am. The R7 is, it's definitely a bigger, excuse me. It's definitely a bigger body than the little M6. The $1,500 one, not trying to brag, just be specific. No, that's cool. I have the 15 to 35 millimeter lens. Yeah, that's awesome, right? And you know, everybody here has bragging rights. It's all good. I find that the R7 kind of gimps the lens. Okay. So is the 15 to 35, is it a big lens? Because I think I looked at the R7s at Best Buy. Well, I looked at, they had an RP, an R7, and an R10. And it's not as big as the 80D, but it is bigger than my M6s. And I'm trying to get as small and compact as I possibly can because, you know, if you're carrying these around all day, your arm gets tired, right? So, and then you have to add the weight of the gimbal, which it doesn't weigh a lot, but it's kind of like when you pack to fly on an airline, every little ounce counts, right? So, Lewis says, whoa, NT1 has USB. I have the NT1A with XLR. That sounds cool. Do you now? You have a Rode NT1 and you have a phone and you have, I know you have a camera. I think you have you have an M camera, Lewis. So why aren't you making videos? I'm going to tease you about that all night. You know that because I love you. And Charles says, oh, is that a Harry Potter shirt you're wearing? Why, yes, Charles, it is. Thank you very much. I wore this just for you. Okay. I am a Harry Potter fanatic, right? Or fan, what is it called? A fan something, fantic. So yes, it's actually, I don't normally do the crimson. I'm more of the Slytherin green, but I found this and I'm like, ooh, that's a really good color. So yes, it is. Motivated Minds was slinging my 2 EOS Rs on each side and had an M6 Mark II strapped to my chest. Still not ready to upgrade until I learn more from Peter. That's cool. And I can see you, Carlos, walking down the venue, and you've got the 2 cameras, one on each hip, over your shoulders, and then the M6 Mark II on your chest. I can see this, right? And with the hat, okay? Gotta have the hat. Carlos, I love you. You make me smile every time I listen to you. Sly is exposing me, right? Because I know what you have. Gary says, she has your number, Lewis. That's right. That's right. Lewis and I started a competition like, 2 years ago maybe? Or close to it. About who would put up the first video, right? No, we're not talking live streaming. We're just talking about who would put the first video up on YouTube. And I think it has been 2 years ago. Well, so we were kind of neck and neck there for a little bit. And then Lewis takes off with shorts, right? Just one after another, and gained subscribers like crazy, right? I don't know how to do a short. Okay. I'm not sure I could talk in a minute and say anything, right? So he took off and left me, and then he just stopped, right? And so I really enjoyed watching his videos because they were actually pretty good. And Jeff says, back for 5 minutes before I need to go. Lou, I enjoy seeing your videos. See, everybody enjoyed seeing your videos. Do not let go of your dreams, Lewis. You're a very talented young man. Yes, you are. You have so much to offer the world. Lewis, for those of you who don't know, Lewis sings and dances, and he's very, very talented. He did one, he was singing, and he had that Barry White thing going on. And I was just like, whoa, that was amazing. Subculture says it's definitely bigger than the R7. It's got the red ring of awesomeness on it. Yeah, I've heard about those red rings. Yeah, they mean lots and lots of money. But they're really, really good lenses. Carlos says, the hat for sure, Sly. You nailed it, right? Yep. Charles says he's like John Wayne, 2 guns on his belt and a 3rd camera on his chest, right? Can you not just picture him walking through the venue, right? I really like your vlogs, Carlos, when you were, I think you were using the Rode mic, and it was cold for California. You know, people who live in warmer climates don't understand when we are saying cold. So like, it'll be, I think today it was close to 80, and just like Monday night, it was 30. So we're at that time of year where we're having lots and lots and lots of weather fluctuations. And today was so windy. A lot of Tulsa, from what I understand, some of Broken Arrow and some of Tulsa lost power. It was so windy, it blew the power lines down. So not tornado activity, just straight winds. So yeah. Wow, Sly, time flies. 2 years already, gone by so fast, right? It has been, but you know, I have learned so much, and I've gained so many friends through YouTube that it really doesn't feel like it's been any time at all. So I'm just really, I'm blessed to have you guys. Yes, the Duke, Dr. Charles Richard, the Duke. That's right. And he's been in movies too. Lewis has been in movies? I think he has. I think I do remember something about that. And Lewis says, "Thank you so much, Jeff. You're so kind. I appreciate you." Lewis, we're not being kind, buddy. We're being honest with you. Okay? I really enjoy watching your videos, and I would like to see some more. Okay? I'm sure your mom would like to see some more too. So start making videos. Lewis says, "Peter, wow, I love you too, baby. You know the hallmarks." Oh yes. If it was a Hallmark movie, Peter's on it. He's got all those memorized. And Charles is laughing at Carlos. Lewis says, "Cold in Canada is like below zero, and we are used to it." Well, zero, when it's zero here, pipes freeze. Okay? If it gets down much below 4 degrees here, we have major problems because we're not used to it, right? And so normally in the springtime, we may have like a 20-degree difference between day and night. And the last month or so, it's been like a 40-degree difference. It'll be really nice in the daytime and then get really cold at night. And your body just can't adjust to 40-degree differences in temperature. So, so everybody in Oklahoma and probably Kansas and northern Texas is walking around with colds right now. But, you know, it is what it is. Holy cow, we don't know what to do when it hits 52, right? Hey, that rhymes. That's right. So I saw a video, and you were talking about your gas bill, and that you kind of boycotted the gas company, and you were sitting there in a coat and had everything zipped up. And I'm thinking, man, I can relate. We have been gouged by the gas company for the last, well, all this winter. And so my gas bill has been twice what it normally is. And so I keep my house at like 65 and just put on a hoodie or a sweater, or I've got one of those little plushy blankets. And a lot of times if I'm sitting in here, now all this equipment generates heat a little bit, but if I'm just sitting here and everything's off, I've got my electric fireplace, because the electric company has not caught up to the gas company yet. So I have my electric fireplace, and I'll take one of those little blankets and throw over my feet, and I feel like a really old woman, but I stay warm. That's what counts. Peter's laughing. Carlos, it's time for a pill. Okay. Lewis says, "I can see how that could become a big issue for you guys." Yeah, I think you guys must bury your water lines deeper than we do. I don't know what your frost line is, but ours is supposed to be 18 inches. I think when it gets really cold like that, it goes a little bit deeper. So it seems like every time it's 4 degrees or below, my water freezes. So, and I know better, right? So, so for next week, I think I will I'm going to check out that cheapy microphone. Okay, see how it sounds. It looks identical to this microphone, but it's a fraction of the cost. So I will see how it does. And I doubt that I'll have another audio interface, so it'll probably be on the Tascam. Back on that. And oh, as I throw it around, the little Sennheiser. I'm going to check it out tomorrow. So, and then I have a really long. Okay, so what happened with the Mustang video? We filmed for 12 hours. I had 2 cameras running plus the little action camera. Okay. And as you can imagine, we ran out of batteries, and I had to, but I have enough batteries that I kept taking them in the house and charging them while I had a fresh one in the camera. So it kept going. But for some reason, the Godox that I was using, because it has 2 transmitters, we didn't get any sound out of it. So I'm having to edit this video, and it's like watching hours and hours and hours of a silent movie, right? So, yeah, it's a little, it's been one of those, maybe I could pay somebody to edit this. Scott says, Canada's 0 degrees is R32. Oh, that's true, because they're in Celsius. So that's true. And Peter says, old woman, did you say old woman? I'm gonna, I take you right back off. So Cultured says, the R7 has built-in stabilization, but it crops the image to make it more stable, but it gives the 15 to 35 lens. It kind of turns the wide angle into a standard lens. Is it still using the 1.6 crop factor? Because that's what my M6s have, is at 1.6. And so when I say something is like a 11 millimeter, you have to multiply that by 1.6. So it's actually more like an 18 to something, right? But if you get any smaller than 11, you kind of get that fisheye look going on there. So Scott says, I have kept my house at 66 this year, and have become comfortable with that. I'm too hot at 68 now, right? I'm kind of used to 65. I don't know. If I'm home, I'm usually asleep, and my bed has a heated, what do you call it? A heated mattress pad thing. So I really never get cold. Poor Maybelline, isn't she old too? Right? I think it's Mabel. But yes, Mabel is quite old. Mabel is doddering. Carlos says, it really is funny. Everyone here puts on their 0 degree wearables when we hit 50, right? It's all in what your body becomes accustomed to. And generally, from winter to summer, we have spring, and spring kind of gets us used to not being quite so cold and ready for the heat. Because in Oklahoma, we get 100-degree days, right? And this spring has not been cooperating at all. So what it does is everybody gets head colds. Too many butts, I must be distracted. It's okay. Maybe shooting Peter the bird, right? Peter says, Scott, you are going to get me thrown out to sleep on the couch. Oh, Mabel wouldn't do that, would she, Peter? Carlos says, Peter, I knew I forgot something today. What did you forget? Scott says, I turned 62 this month. You are a year ahead of me, bud. Gary says, I turned 61 this month. Yeah, see, we're all right there together. Well, most of us. Gary, you and I are just real close to being the same age. Peter says, I turned the mattress this month. Well, that's good. And Charles says, hey, Scott, is that an April Fool's joke? I don't think so. I think Scott is about our age, I think. Or, well, if he's turning 62, he's just a little bit older than me. Not much. And Peter says, oh yes, it is now officially April 1. Everyone go hide, right? Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. And Peter's, oh, it's not here. Here it's only 11:40. So, yeah. And Lewis says, Gary, I turned 33. Yeah, you're a puppy. So Lewis, Uncle G, and I think Subcultured is young. And Jacob and all the boys that come in with Uncle G and say hi, they're all your age, right? So 30, 31 years old. So you're in good company, bud. And then you've got all us old folks, which I think there is a reigning king in the room, but I won't say who it is. And Scott says, I wish it was Charles. No, I really am kind of embracing, I'm not going to say old age, because I don't think I'm quite there yet. I am past middle age, okay? I don't want to say I'm doddering yet, but I'm kind of embracing it, because you can get by with stuff now that when you're younger you can't get by with. So I'm kind of enjoying that aspect of it, you know. But that's just me. We be old timers. That's right. Maybe we need to make that the name of a channel, is We Be Old Timers. Oh, sorry. I thought Subby was a teenage wrestler. I think Subcultured is Grant's age. I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking he's in his 20s, late 20s. But I don't know. But guys, so this week I'm going to test out the Sennheiser, and I'll let you know how that works. And Charles, thank you very much for the heads up, because I love this thing. If it sounds as good as it looks. Sorry. I'm going to test out the cheapy mic. And what else? I think that's it. I thought there was a third thing. Oh, I'm going to edit the Mustang video. Yes. So, and Scott says, I'm in the last third of my life. Yeah, I would agree with that. But that third is like 30 years, right? So it's not like 3 years. It's like 30 years. So I'm good with that. Okay. Because the first 30, you know, you're a kid and then you grow up, and I did play in my 20s. I had a lot of toys. I had a motorcycle. I had what else? I have a motorcycle, an MG, you know, fast cars and a Corvette, and yeah, I just, you know, several different cars. But, and then in my 30s, I got to settle down and do the mom thing, right? So 30s, 40s, 50s was kind of doing the mom thing. And now the kids are grown. I've got a grandkid. And so I'm kind of enjoying this last third, right? It's kind of, my body doesn't cooperate as well as it did, you know, 30 years ago, but it's okay, because I know so much more now. And so I'm kind of, I think I've hit my stride. I kind of like this age. Charles says it's called the golden age. Okay, I'll take that, because I am kind of enjoying it. I'll be 70 in October. Better be nice to me. I'm on my way out. Send ice cream right away. I think for Peter's 70th, we should send him an ice cream cake. Wouldn't that be cool? Chocolate ice cream cake. I think that mic is going to sound great, Sly. The cheapie or this one? This is the AT2040, which, yes, I got on sale. But the cheap mic is like I want to say it was under 20 bucks. So we'll see what it sounds like. It got really good reviews as far as build quality, and it looks identical to this. I don't think it has the same innards. So, you know, we'll see. But I'll try it. And Scott says it's called the Golden Age because of OAB. OAB. I don't know what old age bones. I don't know. Peter says, but did you have a riding lawnmower? You ain't nobody till you have a riding lawnmower. I have had a riding lawnmower pretty much my entire adult life. Not the same one, obviously, but the zero turn I have now is my first zero turn. Okay, the rest of them have been the kind that you get on and has a steering wheel. But yes, I've always had. Oklahoma is, you have really big yards or you have acreage, and most places, and I've always had a really big yard or acreage, and so I've had to have a riding lawnmower. So yeah, I've pretty much had a riding lawnmower since I was 22 maybe. Ooh, I like that timeline, Sly, right? And Scott's like, he's not so sure about all this. Trust me, Scott, it's the golden age. And Gary says, now you're doing the Sly thing. We're loving it. The Sly thing. Okay, not sure what the Sly thing is, but, oh, meant the Sennheiser. Oh, this one. Yes. Yes. I really think I will. If it sounds halfway decent. I tried to plug it into all this, and it sounded like I was in a bathroom. So I'm thinking it'll sound better on a camera, but we'll see. Yeah. And if it is, I might go for a Sennheiser. You know, if it sounds good with my voice, I may try a Sennheiser mic here. We'll see. And Lewis says, wow, I want to ride the lawnmower. Hey, bud, anytime you come to visit, you are more than welcome to mow my yard, right? And Peter says, actually, the 2040 Sly is on now, is sounding really great. Oh, well, thank you. Except for the lip sync thing, right? Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. So, like I said, I don't know if it's YouTube or Ecamm or what it is, because in my testing, it was not always there. Sometimes it was spot on. It seemed like the more I did, the worse it got, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, guys, we have kind of run over, but I really enjoy talking to all you guys. So you guys make my night. And I hugely appreciate everybody coming in. So Pat, if you're still listening, have a good night. Tell Cindy I said hello. Her best friend is in town from Florida. And so tell Cindy I said hello. And I will see all you guys next week. And I should have some information if how this little guy sounds. And I've got one of these coming. That's what it was. And so, and maybe the sync thing will be corrected by then too. Who knows? Pretty sure the audio sync issue is a YouTube thing. Yeah, I'm thinking it is too, Scott. And there's not a lot I can do about that, because I tried all the different settings, and it just got worse. So it is what it is. It's all right. And Peter says, good night, everyone. Be safe. Be great. See you next week. That's right. And Lewis says, thank you, Sly. When I make a video, you'll be the first to know. Thank you, Lewis. Good night, everyone. And I will see you guys next week.